Welcome to the Buy Box Bandits podcast.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Buy Box Bandits, hosted by Flips for Miles and All Out Amazon. Statistically proven to increase your buy box share. What's the current rate, Garrett? According
I think it's 62%. I think it's 62.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
ironically enough, big booty mix is about 68. So it's
Okay.
it go hand in hand, neck and neck.
Got you. So that's right, folks. If you listen to the Buy Box Bandits while you're prepping, while you're sourcing, while you're on the Zoom call with the boys or the girls, right? It is statistically proven to increase your buy box share. So even when you're not working, you might be working. But today we have an awesome guest. We have the man Misha Flips with us. South Jersey native, so very close to being a Southeast PA king. We'll pretty much call it that because the South Jersey guys do get the invite to the Southeast PA dinners. They do get the invite, so it does count right there. But my man, tell us what you did for December on Amazon.
I almost did a 5K December, like all December. I did a 450, I believe.
450, right? So
Yeah.
shitload of profit, probably getting in the ballpark of close to six figures in profit per launch, which is absolutely crazy because when we met, you were just getting started, man. So you do a mix of online and wholesale, right? Or a mix of arbitrage and wholesale.
Yeah, pretty much like at this point, I do 60% wholesale, 30% OA, and 10% I do RA, but I usually do RA on seasonal opportunities.
Sure. Cool, man. Okay. And then how'd you get into this whole world of selling stuff on Amazon? I know it was a couple of years ago, man, but tell us, the intro story and everything, because obviously it was not always the way it is now for you and everything. So we're excited to dig into that whole process.
Okay, so do you want to hear like a long story or
short
story?
Give it, everything, man, everything.
This is your time to shine. Exactly. This is all about you.
Yeah, right. Because people, they want to see people like them succeed, or people with a similar career, or people with a similar story. You know what I mean? Fill us in, man.
Okay, so start from beginning. I born and raised originally in Russia. So 2011, I came to the United States, only a couple $100 in my pocket. So I started working in a restaurant, like a prep person, was doing prepping.
Man said prepping at the restaurant. That's amazing.
and worked myself up to the manager position, and was working like a manager for the food industry, maybe almost 8 years. And when COVID happened, everybody got shut down. I started experiencing more time with my family. So back in time, I used to be a one kid. Yeah, she only was 3 years old. So I started getting experience more time with her. And because I was working 70, 80 hours in a restaurant, so pretty much I did not see my kid at all. I stay with her home. I started getting like that bad feeling when I stay with my kid 24/7. And when I come back to restaurant, I start feeling I have to change something.
What are we talking? Are we
And
flipping pizzas? Are we burgers? What are we talking?
I was doing everything. So I started like a cheesesteak. I was manager Tony Luke's cheesesteak place, Philadelphia. Mike should know that.
Hey,
That I've heard of. Yeah.
It's like a famous spot. Yeah.
So yeah, Tony Luke's cheesesteaks, pizza, salad, burgers, like you name it. It was a variety of the restaurants. So it was a one company who has a bunch of different locations, and I was working from every 2-3 years. That company was open new restaurant, and pretty much they just drop me on that place and say, hey, set up the system, hire people, teach them payroll schedules, distributors buys all food. So pretty much I was the guy who set up system for that restaurant.
Sure.
Okay.
And then so when does Amazon come into this, man? Because I could see that could be the kind of situation a lot of people would just get comfortable, man, especially, if they're getting moved around to different restaurants, maybe getting a pay bump each time. Obviously, you had good motivation in terms of wanting to spend more time with family, but how did you even learn about selling Amazon and everything?
Yeah, I always was flipping. Even back in time, like in the high school, I always was flipping something like candies. Not shoe. Shoe wasn't my like thing. Some candies. When I moved to United States, I was flipping cars. Not a lot, maybe like 1-2 car a year. I was flipping cars. I was doing some small little stuff on eBay, like local marketplace, Facebook marketplace, and I always wanna jump on Amazon. And my story is not gonna be different. I was thinking Amazon it's only if you have a private label or you directly buy them from Amazon only. And somehow, Miles, you pop up on my Instagram, and I was follow you for a while. Yeah, I was following you for a while, try to like understand are you legit or you're not legit.
Yeah, man. Hey, we're here though. So we're doing something right.
And yeah, and like everybody else, I bought it roadmap. So I love it. It's like a blueprint, step to step, how to what to do, what not to do. In the 2-3 years, I feel I got stuck. So I approach you, and back in the time, I think you're still doing it, right? That's the coaching
Yeah,
program.
yeah, man. It's July. So you were one of the first people to do that. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
actually just recorded with Rudolph, man. It was the same way.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. So I joined with you right before back in school
Back to
season
school.
2022.
Yep.
So yeah, you kind of opened my eye. What should I do? What I not should do? And from that, I just start talking to people, communicate step by step, and kind of expanding. And that's where I am right now.
I
Yeah,
mean, you make it
so
sound super easy, right? It was just like, all right, I
it's
did
it's
this, I did
yeah,
this, I
once
did
you get
this, I did
above
that.
yeah, because once you get above a couple hundred grand a month, we've noticed that with like 1,000 ASINs, right? You're a little bit removed from like the weeds of stuff, you know what I mean, and everything. So what, like, did you start out with RA? Did you start out with OA? Like what were those initial days with Amazon?
Yeah, I started from Rizzi Resale. Shout out to him. So I was so excited when last Miami I met with him. So I was super nervous, like, oh my God, I was watching you like for 1 year. So I was always want to do something what you was teaching me. So I started like with the retail arbitrage, a typical story, Marshall, Walmart clearance. I was staying and scanning every single product on the clearance shelf, try to figure out how to flip, what to do, what not to do. And I mean, it sounds easy, but it's not. It's
Yeah,
a lot
you
of work.
you you go, you scan a bunch of stuff, one thing's good, but then that one thing might be an IP complaint. You learn your
Yep, yep.
lesson, right? Like what types of stores were you mainly doing with RA initially?
Um, I was doing Marshalls, Walmart clearance, Target, and back in the time, I'm still doing that. I still doing break six subscriptions
Mm.
when I have a price drop for specific items. So I was doing Home Depot, Lowe's, um, Target, Marshalls, so wherever it's local price drop off or any kind of price error. So I just see what's going on. I jump there and I scoop whatever inventory the drop in the price.
Yeah, and then what does the current Amazon operation look like? Because I think you still work out of the garage, right? You're at like insane, literally. I mean, I'm the person who tried to make it as far as possible without a warehouse, and you made it even further than I did with no warehouse because he's got the pallets in the driveway, Garrett. That's actually my first memory of Garrett is
That
Garrett
was,
pallets in
yeah,
the driveway. Yeah. Yeah. So talk
Yeah,
to us
he
about the
got
current
annoying
one
neighbors,
operation.
too.
having the 18-wheeler drive on other people's lawns, backed in. It was a mess.
Yeah, it is mess. I still got seven pallets right now waiting for the pickup. But
Yeah, Brett.
yeah,
Yeah, and there's that epic, the epic watch me Amazon picture of like the big pallets, these big pallets in the
yep,
driveway, like
yep,
in
yep.
like the suburbs. Man. Yeah, so talk to us about the current operation, right? I assume you're probably not doing all the prep yourself and everything.
Yes, so prep, it's easy. Like my operation, I have one VA. She used to be a part-time, right now she full-time. She just started work for me like 7 days ago for the full-time finally. So she's doing for me all operational. She's doing all my Excel's communication between me and the prep center, and she's doing for me on a daily, every single month. She's doing for me manually my net margin report. So I show her how to do exactly numbers, what I sold, what's the Amazon cut, what's some kind of damage. So pretty much she's helping me to find out what my net margin, how much money I put exactly in my pocket every single month. She's doing that for me, and I have a one full-time prep person and a one part-time. So that's whole operation, and I'm in the process to move the warehouse. I'm looking around at one space. I found two places. I just go back and forth with the lease agreements, but yeah, I have to move because it's getting ridiculous. I
Yeah,
cannot scale up
so
from that point.
so you obviously got the garage taken over. Are we talking bedrooms and living room as well, or is it just garage? Like fill us in, because these are things every young man goes through in the scaling process of the Amazon business.
Oh yeah, like every month. I have a two-car garage, so that's no car at all there. So that's a
Okay,
full
no
with
car.
inventory.
Yeah.
It's like it's just really you can walk. Only one person can walk one way, and can one person walk other way. So that's kind of my layout in garage. And on a Q4, yeah, obviously I was fighting with my family. All my two rooms was occupied with all my inventory.
That's awesome. So digging into kind of like scaling away, right? Because something we always talk about is like the hardest piece is to get from call it 10 to 50, right? Getting going is easy. You can accrue a couple thousand in sales, but it's really kind of blowing the top off of the OA business, getting from 10 to 50, 50 or 100, right? Because after that, it's all the same. 100, 200 is all the same. And so let's dig into the actual tactical nature of scaling OA, right? In terms of getting around the order cancellations, getting a lot of units, sourcing all the time, right? There's a lot to it. So let's kind of dig into that for the audience.
Sure. Like my first eye opening was when I joined with the mile course, and he told me, "Hey, listen, backpack. It's seasonal. It's a season of the backpacks. So like, don't be shy. Buy backpacks as much as you can." And back in the time, I was still kind of testing the water. Like I buy tail of this, tail of that, and I was nervous to buy 50 items of the same item. So I did it. And I woke up next day and all 50 sold FBMs. I'm like, here we go. So that was kind of the switch for me when I I can do that much numbers to sell. And after that, I was just trying to figure out to learn website, like guys you were saying and everybody else. Need to learn how to avoid cancellations, need to how to change different strategy, how to avoid IPs, juggle address, different accounts, different website, different delivery address. I also got a prep center in Montana, so I also sending 20% of my inventory to them.
See, all the viewers that are listening, you notice what he said. He said, I was nervous about buying 50 of a unit, but I just did it. That's the key.
Yeah, and
Nerves are
it
not
was the perfect time to. Yeah, that's what's nice about the seasonal stuff, man, is that it can raise your consciousness fast when the demand's really high on something.
and confidence. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
huge.
well, yeah, exactly, right? So like, Easter products, and then eventually it's going to be summer stuff, and then I mean baseball stuff's starting to pop off right now, and then back to school, obviously, backpacks, school supplies, calculators. Like I remember Rudolph was killing it with calculators back in the day and stuff, and it just gives you a chance to really catch up. Now, what Misha was saying was a lot of stuff around like all the different stuff you got to learn, cancellation, sourcing, etc. It is borderline impossible to get pretty good and confident in that stuff with like 1 or 2 months. And I know some of you guys listening are newer, but it's pretty doable over 6 to 12 months to get pretty good at it, right? And that's why we always talk about this being, a 6 to 12 month minimum commitment to give yourself a chance to really figure things out, because it is going to take time and stuff. Like you had probably been doing it for over a year before you made like 10K profit in a month, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I was doing like what my in March, so like 4 weeks from that. It's gonna be March. It's gonna be my 2 years when I did my first sale on Amazon.
Yeah, and crazy what you can do in that time period. Like what was kind of the goal originally? Was the goal from day one to be able to do it full time, or was it side money?
No, I was trying to find some kind of business I can work for myself and some kind of business if I put so much time and my energy, so it's gonna pay off because like I used to work 9 to 5 and pretty much I overwork everybody else who work with me and I work harder than everyone and at the end of the year like a $1, $2, or $3 raise, nah, it's not gonna work for me. So
Well,
I
that's the
try
thing.
to yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's I try to find something so I can put effort. And also my background, in my home, I used to be a salesperson. So I know like if you work more, if you sell more, if you stay late, you have more communication with the people. If you're hustling every time, you're gonna make much more money than everybody else. So that's I try to all the time find kind of the same niche here. But in United States, I was kind of afraid of the my language and my accent, so I never did sales here, but I was good with the numbers and I was good computers because I also got a background of the IT developing. I used to go college for IT, and somehow Amazon it's pop up. I kind of merge it and I just give it a shot. What's gonna happen? I'm fail. Okay, go back to a restaurant.
Yeah, that's exactly what Rudolph said. Literally exactly what Rudolph said, man. The worst case, you go back. Like, and it's ironic though, because the people with the least to risk are always the people that are the most worried too. It's like the college kids and stuff that are so afraid to think for themselves, right? So afraid to disappoint their parents and stuff. And it's what's the worst thing that happens? You're 22 with no money. That's what everyone else is too, right? Right? Exactly.
Yeah, like 10 years ago, I already disappointed my parents when they came to the United States and never came back. So what's more gonna happen?
That's a good
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. So what did that initial process of getting wholesale involved look like? Because a lot of people at this point are coming off a big Q4. They're looking to get involved with wholesale stuff, but they're not really sure the best place to do it. So we'd love to hear your anecdotal advice in terms of like what you did specifically to get the ball rolling with that.
My personal opinion, do not even consider wholesaler if you don't have a $10,000 in your bank account. Because if you cannot manage to save $10,000 on under your name on the bank account, it's hard to jump to the wholesale. I mean, obviously you can, and I know a couple of people who did that with a 2K, with a 5K, and 6K. But it's hard. It's really hard. You have no warehouses, and even right now I'm operating from my garage, and it was really hard to open up different accounts and convince people work with me because we're thinking, some kind of guy working from garage. We have no idea he's legit, he's not, and he just starts selling on Amazon, and it was hard, but little step by step, and you have to convince. And funny things, my first account, I hook up this guy on Instagram because he was reposting Amazon Lead. Like Amazon Lead was doing a tour 2 years ago, and this guy was reposting, and I kind of started following him. And I was following him for like 3 4 months, and somehow he posted his story, and I heard he speak my language. He was speaking Russian. I'm like, here you go, this guy speaking the same language. Let me hook him up. So I text him and back and forth, and after 1 month, I open account, and I still buying from him like 1.5 years later.
So what are the other some of the accounts that you're going after, approaching and winning, right? Are they distribution accounts, brand accounts? What sorts of maybe
Yeah.
products are you looking for? That sort of thing.
Yeah, I never done brand distribution deals. I right now I am approaching suppliers and distribution. I never approached brands yet. Actually, I try. I went to the New York for the food show. I believe what's the name? I forgot. It was some kind of food show in the United States, in the New York, and it was. I tried to pitch myself, but a lot of new brands were already selling on Amazon, and they was asking me so many questions. And back in the time, it was only was 3 months I was selling on Amazon, so I have no idea how to answer them. I have no idea how to help the brand, and now I see what I should answer. But it was back in the time was hard because I tried to kind of fill the fill the needs of that market. And now only distribution at this point. When I gonna move to my warehouse and I gonna be much more space when I'm gonna be able to buy 3 4 and 6 pallets and store them, that's gonna be my second step to approach the brands. But at this point, only distributions.
Have you gotten many rejections because you're working out of your garage?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like right away. Like
Interesting.
what's your company name? What's your company name? How old are you in the business? How long in the business? What's your website? And how big is your warehouse? And you have a live gate or not? So I said, I have no warehouse, no live gate, no warehouse. We said, oh, okay, we don't work with the residential address. I mean, it's fine. Just move forward.
Well, and the
Yeah.
cool thing is you already know that that was their objection. So either you handle it or when that objection no longer exists, when you have the space, which it sounds like you're moving forward on fast, right? Now, if you keep track and keep a good pipeline on that stuff, you'll be able to get that. Are you the one finding all the potential accounts to reach out to?
Yeah, yeah. I'm like I said, I'm the one man show at this point. So I only have a help who prepping me. Like I'm not touching product at all. Like I have a person. I so grateful she worked for me. I found her. She's coming to my garage 8 a.m. She leave like 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. She's do every day prepping, and all the rest I'm doing it. Find the product, doing POs, talk to distributors, and yeah, all the rest is I'm doing it.
And so once you actually have the catalog, what's your strategy at that point, right? Are you using any scanning software? Are you kind of going brand by brand? How are you like dissecting that information? Because at some point it can be a lot.
Yeah, first step is always I use a software scraper. I think I'm one of the person who's still using like tactical arbitrage with a tactical expander, so I was still using it.
Oh, that's OG shit. Oh my gosh, I love
Yeah.
that. Damn, yo, that was one of the most pivotal points in my life when Garrett put me on it because you didn't have to put me on. You saw greatness in me, right? But the key is that you probably wouldn't have done that to some random dude on Instagram, right? You kind of already knew what you were getting with
Right. Yeah.
Instagram and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But okay. All right. Explain how that works though, because that was something we used to use for Proctor Research a ton back in the day.
Yeah, I mean it's like a scraper. So like website you cannot scrape, let's say like Adidas.com, Nike or Kohl's. You just open up exactly what you need, like a website or page, like let's say like Garrett was saying, like Kohl's, Nike, men's shoes. You open up that page, you click on the extension, tactical arbitrage, it's tactical expander, I'm sorry. It starts scraping, and after that you got your information, you plug into that tactical arbitrage and you set up your filters, and at the end it just pretty much squeeze you whatever you need, and you
Funnels
just
it
start
down.
to
Yeah.
yeah, close down. And that for me was big eye opening because I know not a lot of people was using it. and I was using. And funny things, I never got storefront stalking. I never done that. So I pretty much like whatever people was using and doing right now, storefront stalking and that, I never done that. So I use usually tactical arbitrage,
Yeah.
tactical expanders, and just bunch of scraping and manual research.
Yeah,
And that's
because
how you're
for
going through your
wholesale.
catalogs as well.
So yeah, sorry, yeah, it's number one step. It's the scraper, and it's scraper skip a lot of information. And second one, I do manually brand by brand. So pretty much I got one brand and I start to see what they have and I start see what Amazon sells by this brand and I see what's matching. But most of the time right now it's manual because manual give me 80% of all my results.
Hmm.
Sure. And it takes a lot of time, but it's worth it in terms like just that naturally automated stuff isn't going to be as effective as you going through because you know exactly what you're looking for too. So what you're saying, Misha, right, is that wholesale isn't as scary as people say it is.
It's not, but it just require experience. So it do not jump from beginning because you can burn yourself like really
Yeah,
fast
because
because
it risky, right? Higher purchase orders, order quantity minimums and such. Yeah.
you should know how to work Amazon. What's the fees? What's the return fee if you sell the wrong product? If you mislabel it, let's say if you burn yourself on $100 or like okay $1,000, but like now let's say you burn yourself on the $10,000 of inventory and you send the wrong
Yeah.
products. Or
That could
worst
be
case scenario,
backbreaking for some people for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
when you bought a product and when you didn't know it's a dangerous good and you cannot right now send it, so it's a hazmat product. So right now you're in a big problem. You have like a $5,000 or $6,000 worth of inventory and you cannot sell it because it's a hazmat. I mean, you can, but you have to do
Yeah.
like different.
FBM and yeah,
Yeah.
complicated and stuff. So were you Chad scaling with FBM this year too in December?
Oh yeah. I give it. Yeah. FBM is. Yeah. I don't want to like touch FBM at all right now for like a
Well,
couple months
but
because it
but
was
hey,
so
but
similar.
the pocket's fatter though, man. The pocket's fatter, right? And you got to do that so that you know what you're capable of and that you plan accordingly in the future, right? So like yeah, so it's like 450K rev, right? Let's call it like 20% profit right around there, probably, right? What percentage of that was FBM?
60%.
Ooh, so that's oh, so
60.
you were either underprepared or just went on a massive buying spree at the start of December.
Yeah. I ship a lot of products on. I spend most of my capital on early Black Friday, and
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
I send. I remember like my last shipments to Amazon. It was I sent 10 pallets of Legos. Yeah, first time in my life I sent
Man,
pallets with the
that's
Legos.
savage. That's savage. Yeah,
10 pallets of Legos. Was it
Yeah.
successful?
Oh yeah. It was good.
yeah,
It was
of
good.
course,
He
man.
says, yeah, it was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, because damn, that's crazy. And that's a good pro tip for you guys if this is your first Q4. Um, this actually was way different than it was in 2022, but at least last year in 2023, the Black Friday sale started super early. Like literally like kind of like Black Friday was full on in swing, like pretty much like the Monday or Sunday before that. So you will have you guys ready for that stuff and everything, but that is something to keep in mind. It's pretty clutch, honestly, too, because it actually made the whole season a lot more profitable too, just from a buying perspective as well. So what are the things? So you obviously got the warehouse coming. What are some of the other plans for expansion into this year? Because I'm sure compared to 12 months ago, you feel, a ton more capable, you know what's possible a lot more, and you really, see what you're capable of doing.
Yeah. So my next step is fine. I wanna move to the warehouse. As soon as I move to warehouse, I'm planning to hire one or two more people to help me with the prep. And next step is gonna be VA who's gonna help me with the sourcing um, catalogs from the suppliers because it's getting hard. So most suppliers I get sometimes I get like a 20,000 lines on the Excel, so you just go one by one, and like you just toast yourself. Like usually my suppliers they provide me Monday and Tuesday. So usually Monday and Tuesday I'm just sitting by my computer for like 10 hours and then just scanning, and just my brain is totally toasted after that.
And then, so I assume you're probably going decently wide from a SKU perspective, right?
All depends. Sometimes if I see like a good product, I'm buying a lot. I'm going, yeah, a lot. It's a lot of products. I'm doing like 1.5 months supply. So let's say, yeah, it's not like I have maybe 20 or 30 items on my store. I have like maybe over 200, over
Oh, so you
300
got a bunch.
taxes.
Yeah. Okay. So you're
Yeah.
super nice and diversified and everything too.
Mhm.
And just for context for people looking to get into wholesale, what's the average lead time you're dealing with? Are they shipping out pretty quick directly to you, or does it take a couple days where that might mess up the lead time?
That's all depends from what kind of distributor you have. That's back to, I do not suggest everyone start with a wholesaler, because sometimes, let's say you have a product, you're spending $10,000 on a product, let's say on February 1st, you spend $10,000, you have to wait 1 2 weeks when inventory comes. Sometimes it's take like a month, but you already spent $10,000. Let's say it comes
Mhm.
3 weeks. So February 1st, you spend your $10,000. February 20th, your inventory came to you. You need like extra 1 week to prep and ship it. Plus, you're waiting for the truck to come to pick up. It's another week. And plus 1 2 or 3 weeks to your inventory to check into inventory. So by the time you spend $10,000, it's already like 2 months pass by and you don't see your money. So it's getting from 2 weeks, I would say, all the way to 9 weeks. All depends on the product,
Yeah.
suppliers, and how fast it's gonna turn out.
Yeah, for someone just getting started,
Yeah,
9 weeks is
get your
just
ass to the Nike out. Yeah,
irrational.
go to the Nike out
Yeah,
and scan the stuff and list it FBM and avoid all that hassle
yeah,
that is what's necessary to do the big numbers, but to get the ball rolling, ONR is the way.
yeah. But I started doing right now, and I kind of was juggle different strategies. So right now, what I do, let's say I bought, like, just let's just drop the numbers. I bought 100 units of one SKU. What I'm doing at, let's say 1,000. Let's say I bought 1,000 units of one SKU. So 700 units I'm shipping to the LTL. 200 units I'm shipping with the SPD with the
Ooh.
USPS,
All right.
and
Talk to
100
us on that
units.
though. Yeah. And give context on the difference between pallet and SPD too, because that's some pretty neat stuff that like is probably what I'd be doing too. That I never even thought of it though, if I were doing like pallets and shit.
And 100 units I'm saving for FBMs. So by doing this, I'm not losing every single day for not selling this product. So by the time like my LTL shipment goes, it takes about 3 4 weeks to get it on a warehouse in Amazon. With the SPD, it take about another week. And by the time when my pallet check into the Amazon, if I have anything left from the FBMs, I just repack and ship it to the second shipments with the LTL. So by doing this, I'm kind of increasing speed of the cash flow in my
Smart.
business.
It's smart. It's smart. It's smart. And this is a lot of the stuff
If
that
it's
you talk.
product, if it's product not if it's weight not a lot. So if it's weight like above 4 or 5 pounds, I'm not doing that because I'm losing money on
Yep, fees.
UPS shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another strategy I was doing with my prep center. Uh, I locate in New Jersey, so East Coast. My prep center is Montana, so it's West Coast. I also got a strategy when I sending my product, even I don't pay taxes in New Jersey. I shipping shoes and apparels in my location, New Jersey. But at the same time, 40% of whatever I bought, I send it to the Montana as well. Because by doing that, I'm kind of getting my buyback sharing on the East Coast and West Coast. So let's say if I only ship my product from New Jersey, I'm selling like 100 units a month. But since I start selling to everything to Montana, I getting my product sold like 200 times a month.
Yeah.
So I
I
kind
mean,
of
so
distribute my buyback share.
yeah. So I mean, for the listeners, this is a little bit more advanced, a little bit more in the weeds. Like if you're buying 10, 20, 30, this level of detail, this level of attention isn't necessarily super necessary. Isn't necessarily super
It
necessary.
will eventually be
Anyways,
though. Yeah.
massive upside though, once you're getting to the scale, once you're getting to the depth of either at OA at scale or obviously wholesale.
Yeah, and then
Yeah. And
another thing that I know you've done a pretty good job at that we always talk about is the networking, making connections, meeting other sellers, right? So obviously everyone should go follow you on the gram, Misha Flips, right? But as well, can you talk about kind of what that's done for you and everything, like meeting the boys, building friendships, etc.?
yeah, networking, network, it's a game changing, and it's hard for me because I'm a busy guy. I have 2 kids. I got wife, so it's pretty much it's hard to every time jump on the phone calls, and I know like when every time somebody do like a live events, or like you sometimes jumping on or YouTube or like Facebook. That time I have to spend with my kids. It's a story time. I have to feed them. I have to read them story. And by the
Story
time I
time's
put
And
important,
we
man.
got to
You
get
can't
the
be
bag.
yeah,
Yeah, I
can't
feel
be
it. I
skipping
feel it.
story time.
yeah, and by the time I'm done with the story, kids is finally sleeping. So right now I wanna talk to somebody, but it's already like 10 or 11 p.m. Like it's difficult. So I last year I went for 3 events. It was a Miami Sell conference, obviously, when I met with all of
Oh
you.
yeah.
First time, yeah, first time in my life, yeah, guys, I met with you in person. So I was so excited. And that event was kind of eye-opening for me because it was a lot of young kids, like 25 and under. Yeah, I call everybody kid, but everybody younger than me. And I met with them, and it was kind of shocking for me, like guys younger than me, 10 years younger, 15 years younger, and they making like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. And back in the time, at this point, I was only make, I don't know, 200 by the year. And they was opening for me. We give advice, they give like strategies, what we're doing, we're not doing it. And for me, it was eye-opening. So if this kid can do, why I cannot? So I went
That's
home,
it.
and yeah, I went home. Second event was ASG in August, and after it was AMZ United.
Oh, the total
Um,
trio. Yeah, same with me, man. Yeah, I was trying
yeah,
to.
yeah,
I couldn't remember if we had hung out at ASD as well, right there. But the cool thing is, guys, right? So that's where you can actually meet up and hang out with other sellers in person, right? But also the online side of things is completely free, right? To have an Instagram page or have a Twitter page, right, where you document your progress. The social media algorithms are good at showing that content that you put out to people that want to see it. Literally just document, picture a box. Like all I know of Misha is I know the picture from the garage looking out to the driveway with the pallet there. That's like my main association with him, right? Is I know because I see you post that a lot, right? And that costs you no money, right? To meet, hang out, etc. with other Amazon sellers online, which is a beautiful thing. And so just in terms of finishing up here, man, do you have any advice you would give to your younger self in regards to selling on Amazon, just other people that are, newer right now looking to do what you're doing now?
yeah. Number one advice I tell everyone who reach me, I said like don't rush it. Don't compare yourself with somebody else who flexing with that orange bars, who like making 100K, 150, because this is it's not a margin, because nobody talks about margin. I'm all about numbers. So like if you're making 100K, okay, what's your margin? And they're like, maybe 10%, 15, 7. I'm like, okay, it's a 7, 10, or 15. It's a three different numbers.
Those are
Very,
And
vastly
very
different.
true. Yeah, true, true.
yeah, so you need to know your numbers from beginning, and after that you have to scale. So you have to even have a little bit more system to set up, because if you try to scale, it's much easier to set up even some kind of type of system. Because if you have a chaos in a business, you buy this, you buy that, you don't know that, because it's some kind of unstructured business, and you try to scale it, so it's kind of getting worse. So that's kind of when I scale aggressively, but I kind of met with this problem. So it was a more you scale, more problem you have to handle it, and more you
So,
have to
yeah. So
delegate.
what's harder, right? Dealing with the Amazon business Q4 at the peak or the restaurant at the peak on like a Friday or Saturday night?
uh it's different. It's because
Ah,
restaurant you work with the people, so you have to provide customer service. It's different. But restaurant it's hard because you coming home, you like totally exhausted because you talk to customers, like everybody's so unhappy, and plus it's a food industry, so you have to keep them happy every time.
The
No,
real
restaurant
question
it's
is,
harder.
do you still have the sauce with the cheesesteaks? Can you whip up a nice, nasty cheesesteak?
Yeah, yeah, still doing that. All my
You-
friends every time we are laughing when we go
just
somewhere
like
out, like
sourcing.
what you
Yeah.
want,
Once you
cheesesteak?
know the art. Yeah, you still
Yeah, I'm
got
like
it.
no, no, no. That and another one number tip. It's more advanced, but I recommend to everyone for the Q4 to kind of increase your margin. So let's say you have 100 products, and again, I have 50 in New Jersey, and I have a 50 in West Coast. So if I'm getting FBM order, and these customers want to expedite this shipping, and he pay $30 extra for expedite shipping, but his delivery address is California, I'm shipping that product from Montana, and I pay regular fee $10, and I'm getting $20 extra in my pocket just because I'm shipping not from New Jersey, I'm shipping from place closer to him. And by doing this, my last Q4 I make maybe extra couple $1,000 only by doing this.
It's a beautiful thing, man. Yeah, that's some sauce right there, right? FBM's still super doable as long as you see other people FBM on those listings, but it is mainly applicable during like back to school, Q4, etc. for those of you guys listening who might be newer. And then where can people follow you on social media to check in with your progress and such?
Yeah, I'm only on Instagram, Misha Flips. I'm not posting a lot. I try to push myself to post a lot, but I don't know. With kids, it's getting kind of hard.
Yeah, well, you
But
quick video here, right? Quick picture there, because it's cool to track your progress over the time too. So check out the man right there and appreciate you coming on, man, for sure. It's a lot of fun.
Thanks,
thank
man.
you guys for having me. Thank
Thanks
you.
everyone for listening.